The part number 2 of the unit number 5 HVDC transmission covers different types of HVDC system and the equipments required for construction of HVDC. Types of HVDC system. The HVDC system basically classified into three ways. The first is monopolar link, second is bipolar link, and the third one is homopolar link. The line diagram of each and every one presented over here. In the monopolar link, only one link is present between the rectifier and the inverter unit. But in the case of bipolar link, two links are present between the rectifier and the inverter units. One link operates with the positive polarity and other link operates with the negative polarity. For these two links, we need two units of rectifier units at the sending end side, and we need two units of inverter at the receiving end side. Similarly, we need two number of converter transformer at the sending end side and two number of converter transformer at the receiving end side. In the case of homopolar link, we require two or more than two links between the sending end and the receiving end. Accordingly, we should have that much number of rectifier units and the converter transformer at the sending end side and inverters and converter transformers at the receiving end side. Now let us understand each and every types of HVDC system in detail. Starting with the monopolar HVDC link, as I said earlier, it has only one conductor between the rectifier and the inverter unit, and it is of generally negative polarity and uses the earth or sea for the return path of the current. Sometimes the metallic return is also used. The main disadvantage of this monopolar HVDC link is if this link stops working because of some reason, then there will not be any power transmission between one station to another station until the repairing is carried out on the faulty line. So that is the biggest disadvantage in the monopolar HVDC link. Under the faulty situation, the power transmission gets interrupted. Bipolar HVDC link. The bipolar link has two conductors, the one with the positive and other with the negative to this earth line. The mutual or the ground point is maintained at the mid potential. Each terminal of the bipolar system has two converters. The sending end side, there are two converters of equal voltage ratings connected in series manner, and two converters of equal voltage ratings connected in series manner at the receiving end side. If both neutrals are grounded, then two poles operate at equal current and there is no ground current. In the event of fault, let us compare bipolar HVDC link with the monopolar HVDC link. In the event of fault in one conductor, for example, in this conductor, there is a fault. The other conductor with this ground return can be used up to half of the rated load or power with rated current of the pole. That implies if there is a faulty situation in one of the conductor, then entire transmission is carried out by the healthy pole. So at least we can transmit half of the power compared to the rated capacity of the transmission system. So in comparison with the monopolar link, here the transmission does not get interrupted. Homopolar HVDC link, it has two or more conductors with the same polarity, right? In this diagram only two conductors are shown and both of them have negative polarity and they usually operate with the ground return. In the event of fault in one conductor, the whole converter can be connected to the healthy pole and carry more than half of the power by overloading but at the expense of increased line loss. homopolar link has two or more than two conductors. So in faulty situation, if one of the link gets failed, then the entire transmission will be carried out by healthy lines, and those healthy lines can transmit the power more than half the rated power. But as written over here, the line loss gets increased. However, this is not possible with the bipolar system due to use of the graded insulation for negative and the positive poles. When the continuous ground currents are inevitable, homopolar system is preferred. The additional advantage is the lower coronal loss and the radio interference due to the negative polarity on the lines. This is the biggest advantage of homopolar HVDC link, and hence we use the negative polarity on each of the conductor. Moving ahead, let us understand the equipments required for the HVDC system. Line diagram of a typical bipolar HVDC system is shown over here. AC bus 1, this portion is the sending end side and this portion is at the receiving end side. So with the AC bus, converter transformer are connected. Even AC bus filter and the shunt capacitors are also connected. Then the converter units, right? Because this is a bipolar scheme, so we need two units of converters at the sending end side. Output of the converter goes to the DC line, but before that the smoothing reactor and the DC filters are connected. At the receiving end side, again the DC filter and the smoothing reactors are present. Thereafter, inverter units, converter transformers between inverter and the AC bus, AC filters and the shunt capacitors are also present at the receiving end. And apart from that, to control the entire transmission from the sending end side to the receiving end side, the communication channels with the control units are used. In short, control system is required. So the main elements of HVDC systems are converter transformer, converter unit, converter valves, AC filters, shunt capacitors, smoothing reactors, DC filters, DC cables and the control system. Let us understand the role of each and every element for HVDC system. Starting with the converter transformer, we usually need 12 pulse converter to convert AC parameters into DC parameters at the sending end side. So in HVDC, the 12 pulse converter is nothing but the series connection of two 6 pulse converter using the phase shifting transformer. Basically, 12 pulse converter is used for the rectification purpose in the HVDC link. To generate 12 pulse DC output, the transformer with one primary and two secondaries is required. Converter transformer connection should be star star and star delta. The insulation system of the transformer has to withstand against a short time over voltage, AC voltage and DC with polarity reversal. So while designing the transformer, one has to take care about all these parameters. Second is the converter unit. So 12 pulse converter can be constructed like this. Multipulse converter, specifically 12 pulse converter, is used mostly in HVDC transmission. Two number of three phase converter, which are also known as the 6 pulse converters, are connected in series manner to get the 12 pulse output across these two terminals. Converter unit is built by series connection of the thyristor valves to get high voltage blocking capability. We know that to increase the voltage or the current rating of any semiconductor device, we go with the concept like series and parallel connection of power electronics component. Advantage of having multipulse converter reduces harmonic in the AC source current. For example, 12 pulse converter only produces 12K plus or minus 1 order harmonics, which I have explained earlier in the unit number 4 multipulse converter. Converter valve development of the HVDC valve, you can see that the first generation mercury arc valve, the size of that valve is approximately 5 to 7 feet, and which was used in the 1954, and by the 2000 you can see that HVDC voltage source converter IGBT valves. The size is very small and the ratings are very high. N number of thyristor or IGBT valves are connected to form a module. So this is nothing but a module of IGBT. The design of valve is based on the modular concept, that is the repetition of the basic module, so we can extend or we can reduce the size of the circuit according to the ratings. The valves can be packaged into single valve, double valve and quadruple valve. Modern valves have an excellent performance record and very small losses. These are the key advantages of modern thyristor valves, IGBT valves. Thereafter, AC filters. Conventional HVDC converters are always have a demand for reactive power. So at normal operation, a converter consumes reactive power in an amount that corresponding to approximately 50% of the transmitted active power. So the least costly way to generate the reactive power is in the shunt connected capacitor banks. Right, in the line diagram you might have seen that capacitor banks are connected with the AC bus along with the AC filters. Some of these capacitor banks can then be combined with the reactors and resistors to form filters, providing low impedance paths for the harmonics in order to limit them from entering into the AC network. So this is how we can reduce the harmonics by combining the components and creating the filters. There are two types of AC filters. The first is tuned filter and the second is damped filter. To suppress the specific order harmonic in the source current, tuned filter is connected. For example, if I want to eliminate only 11th order harmonic, then that specific order of harmonic can be suppressed using such type of filter. So the lower order harmonics would be eliminated by this type of filter like 11th and 13th order. But to suppress the higher order harmonics, damp filter is used. It has capability to suppress wide range of harmonic, which means that 23rd and 25th both together, right? So the damp filter can suppress the range of harmonics, whereas the tuned filter can suppress only specific one harmonic into the system. So that is the basic difference between the tuned filter and the damp filter. Smoothing reactors. The main objectives of the reactor are to smooth the ripple current in the DC. So after converting AC parameters into DC, we can reduce the ripple by using this smoothing reactor. To reduce the risk of commutation failure by limiting the rate of rise of DC line current at the transient disturbances in the AC or DC systems. So the chances of commutation failures can be reduced using this smoothing reactor. Apart from that, prevention of resonance in the DC circuits. It also reduces the harmonic currents, including the limitation of telephonic interference. So these are the main objectives of the smoothing reactor. Thereafter, shunt capacitor. They are connected to AC systems to fulfill the demand of reactive power generated by the converter operations. So these shunt reactors are present at the sending end side as well as the receiving end side. Shunt capacitors are normally connected to AC bus on both sides to fulfill the demand of reactive power generated by the converter, which means that rectifier at the sending end side and inverter at the receiving end side. DC cables. The cables used in HVDC system to carry the power from one point to another point are different than the cables used in AC system. So compared to three conductors in three-phase AC system, only two conductors are required for the bipolar HVDC link. And if we talk about the unipolar HVDC link, then only one conductor is required. But in the case of homopolar system, we may need two or more than two conductors to transfer the power from one location to another location in HVDC. For same power handling capacity, if I compare the AC cable and DC cable, then the size of the conductor in DC is small than in AC. DC filters which are present at the DC link. This type of filter is connected to filter the DC harmonics. Normally a filter to eliminate the 24th order harmonic is designed for HVDC transmission. Thereafter, control system. It produces the firing pulses for the valve of the converter unit, for the rectifier unit present at the bus 1, and inverter unit is present at the bus 2. It also takes care of maintaining the power transfer process under the disturbances in the DC link. Right? So if there is disturbance in the DC link, then it maintains the power transfer between the two stations. Thereafter, the topic is 12 pulse converter for HVDC system. I guess this topic has already discussed in multi-pulse converter. A 12 pulse bridge is effectively two 6 pulse bridges connected in series on the DC side and arranged with a phase displacement between their respective AC supplies so that some of the harmonic voltages and currents are cancelled. The phase displacement between the two AC supplies. The phase displacement between these two AC supplies is usually 30 degree and is realized by using the converter transformer with two different secondary windings. One is star and the second is delta. So usually one of the valve windings is star connected and the other is delta connected. The star-star bridge produces 6 pulse output and star delta also delivers 6 pulse output voltage. With 12 valves connecting each of the two sets of 3 phases to 2 DC rails, there is a phase changes every 30 degree and harmonics are considerably reduced. For this reason, the 12 pulse system has become standard on almost all line commutated converter HVDC systems. It normally does not require any LC filters or power factor compensators, which leads to the elimination of possible LC resonance due to the fewer ripples produced by the converter operations. So these are the key advantages of using 12 pulse converter for HVDC system.